Watching Channel 36 around this time 20 years ago, here's a look at what you would have seen.
This is a News 36 hurricane update.
Our Larry Sprinkle has been following this storm all night, and he has more for us now. Larry.
Thank you, Jesse. No one is immune to what has happened. Part of our roof came off earlier this morning. Checked in with my home, and a tree went through our front door. A 30-foot pine tree went down across the fence in my backyard, in addition to a lot of other damage. So it is affected literally.
This afternoon, Larry talked to our Jeff Campbell about what it was like to cover the storm.
20 years ago, Larry, you were doing your weather outside, and even as Hurricane Hugo was coming ashore, heading this direction, you were outside. What were your reflections? What do you remember about being outside at that moment?
At that time, it was very interesting because you're standing outside. We did our weather outdoors in those days. But being outside, what I noticed first of all was the sound of crashing tree limbs and trees coming down. There's a big wooded area next to the station, and just the sound of that, and knowing that these trees are falling on not only themselves, but their houses over there. And then seeing power lines popping, and then substations. You could see the glow from substations exploding, and then off in the distance, the sirens. So it was that crashing sound of trees coming down, and just knowing that something really horrible was happening, even close to the station.
You see the video. It's so clear that this was a life-changing storm, not just for people involved in it, though, but also from a meteorological perspective. So much has now changed in the 20 years since. So many better ways now to predict these hurricanes and track them along the way.
Yeah, the technology. I mean, first of all, what we had at that time, back in 1989, our radar was using 1950s technology. So today, digital Doppler radar, and that is a total mindset change right there, just being able to use that. And then the satellite imagery. There are basically 2 satellites that we could use back in those days. Now there are 15. And at one point, we had no power to the station, so that meant that we were doing it the old-fashioned way, and that literally was being out in the middle of it, using the old-fashioned anemometer to get the wind speed, and so we had to do it the way they did it many, many years ago.
Well, it's always interesting, very fascinating getting your perspective from a guy who lived through it 20 years ago today.